Hi, everybody, and it's time for another tier list here. My name is JB Henry, and I'm going to be joined shortly by Danny, Mondo, Tipster, JJ, and Theory of Game. We're going to put 41 game show endgames on the list here. An endgame can be a bonus round or the final round of a game. Excuse me, that was professional. But we will be putting 41 up here. Our community got a chance to vote, and anything that actually got more than 2 votes was on the list. And then each one of our hosts had the opportunity to add up to 2. And that got us out to about 41. So, what are our criteria for as I bring in everybody else? What are our criteria for these? I think it's replayability. I think it's excitement. I think endgames need to have a little bit of excitement or drama to them. And I think that there is some interactability in there. Like how can you interact with the game? Obviously, there's screaming at your TV, and then there's maybe knowing an answer or something like that. So, but I'm here with Danny, who's not muted.
Hello.
I'm here with Mondo, who should be muted.
Fuck you.
I'm here with Tip, who ate a trumpet mute.
Womp womp.
I'm here with JJ, who is muted.
Yes, I am.
And I'm here with Theory, who yelled at me that I was muted.
Yes, you were.
Fellas, our community is going to get 60 seconds to vote. 9 people are raring to go. And if you are watching live, that link is pinned, so get on in there. These, I think, are just in order of wherever they're at here on the list. So, yeah, I'm looking at this, and I'm going to start the timer for our chat. Avanti un Ultra is our first one. This is insane.
This is
Yeah.
It's really good. Like, if you check out Ash's stream where Score Count has done this in English a couple of times. It is a mad 150 plus seconds of just nonstop reading. I don't envy anybody who has to host this, but it is an interesting game. I think it's great.
Go ahead.
It's a nice, tense ending to what is a very light-hearted show in all up to that point as well. I think it really kind of puts the nail on the head for the show. And the whole kind of psychological element of, oh, you have to answer these wrong. Really, it's such a simple concept, but so well executed.
Anyone else? All right, well then I will say I think this is decent. I will say that the question reader carries this. Holy crap. The fact that they just go back and forth on it, and I'm going to pause because Chad is already going on the next one. There's 60 seconds. We're going to take probably more than 60 seconds on some of these, and I do apologize. I think it's a fine game. I don't think I can't put it any higher than decent. Just because it feels like there's a hat on the rules and how things go. And if it were more simplified, I'd probably be happy with it. But it is insanity. I will give it that. But I would have to put it at decent. That's just me.
I have it at the low end of great, but that I could agree with decent if you want to put it there.
Decent's fine.
I'm definitely leaning more towards great personally. I think as I said, yes, okay, it's a hat on a hat on a hat, but the basic premise is very simple.
Answer these 21 questions incorrectly.
We will put it in greats for now.
Yep.
Our next one, the chat is 40 seconds, is Wipeout. Touch 6 monitors, hit button, rinse and repeat. I think this is a fine bonus round.
It's fine.
I think it's decent.
I would put it in decent.
It's decent.
It's great. I mean, you mean to tell me I get to do trivia and pretend I'm Vanna White? Thank you.
Putting it
Hell, was still turning letters at this point, so you weren't pretending you were Vanna White.
JJ, we know you just want to get into her wardrobe. Just say
nice
it.
job.
A little.
I
Yeah,
think
JJ's a big boy though. One of Vanna's dresses is like an arm sleeve for him. So
He can mix and match.
Our next is Winning Lines Wonderwall. I would put this in greats.
I would put it in great as well.
This is maybe low goat for me, but the only thing that's holding it back is it didn't have more than one season in the United States.
I'm also leaning towards GOAT. There's a reason why it's had such a presence over here, and that's because it is frenetic. It is. I mean,
named a song after it.
Yes, they did.
The fact that the answers are in front of you, but you must find the answer. Not knowing the answer isn't enough. You have to locate it on the board in front of you. Is something.
I think it's solidly difficult. I'm fine putting it in low goat for now. Any other words? Because no. All right, great.
No, it's goat.
Feel free to say something, Mondo. We're gonna move on to Win Ben Stein's money. Best of 10 test of knowledge. You answer the same questions as Ben Stein. If you get more than him, you win. I think this is goated. I love this round.
There's nothing special about this round to me.
No, I think the show as a whole is fine.
The show is great, but we went from comedy categories to just here's 10 questions.
Here's serious business.
My middle school science teacher was on that show. And,
nice.
Turned out to be one of the funniest things that happened on the show.
And Freddie has a problem with when Ben Stein.
Freddie's not happy.
Do y'all remember the?
I would have this personally in decent, but that's.
Decent, yeah. I was gonna say, do y'all remember the National Geographic answer when it was National Velvet?
No.
No, you'll have to find it for us.
You'll have to find it and show it.
I'm on low grades for this. You're playing Ben Stein for quote unquote his own money.
This was the final chase before there was a final chase.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
fair.
It's a precursor.
Wheel of Fortune.
I know where I'm putting this. It's right at the bottom.
This is either Shore or Losing Horns to me.
It's such a wet fart. Like I love Wheel of Fortune. Don't get me wrong, but like it's
let's take the wheel out of Wheel of Fortune, and they keep doing that with the toss-ups and stuff. But like,
it's true, and I mean that's why I'm glad they added the bonus wheel in the early 2000s.
But like, this is one of those where if they decide, you know what, we don't want you to win, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
I
don't know if Wheel needs a new endgame. I don't think they need to have you give what is it, 9 letters total, or 10 letters. Like give 7 letters and guess it. Like you don't need to be given the RSTLNE. Like
the only reason they did that is they used to do it where pick 5 and 1, but everybody picked RSTLNE. So they just decided, you know what, we're going to give you those, and you can have 3 more in a Val.
Might want to pause voting, by the way, because it's moved to tipping point.
Yeah, and I just like I don't know how you fix it. That's the problem. I don't know how you fix this, but I mean, you have the solving puzzle part, and you could say they bring back the wheel with the little envelopes on it. Fuck the envelopes. Just have amounts. Have amounts.
The thing that gets my goat about it is, there's this $1 million prize, but oh my god, the amount of heckin' hoops you have to jump through.
Yep.
I mean, could you bring back the toss-up round for this, and you have to get through 4 or 5 of them within a time limit. That's a better bonus game.
Yeah, and if you get one wrong, your game's over.
I mean, what you've basically described there, Theory, is the bonus round from All Clued Up.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's move on though. I'm gonna drop it in Sure. I don't think it needs to go any higher than that.
It's Sure.
And remember, we do have to eventually put something in Losing Horns. I don't know if that will happen right away. But moving on. Tipping Point.
Losing Horns straight away.
Really?
I put it in sure.
Sure.
This is short. It takes way too long.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you fix it because it takes that many chips to get something from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how you fix this.
I think you do 90 seconds and you get asked as many questions as you can in 90 seconds, and you get the first 30 seconds are easy questions. You get 1 chip. The second questions are more difficult, and they're 2. And the last 30 seconds, there's 3 chips per. And then however many questions you answer, like in each segment, that's how many chips you get. And then you just play it. It takes, I think, far less time, and I know they're trying to build the drama with. Oh, and I need to pause again. Jesus Christ. They need to pause, or that I need to pause the thing. Jesus Christ, I'm losing my mind.
They need to build the drama, is what you're trying to say.
They need to build the drama. I'm having a stroke. I smell toast. It's just that doing it so many times just is, it's irritating. But I love it as a concept, but I don't think it's losing horns. But it is not a good bonus round because it takes half the fucking show, and I don't think Endgame should take half the fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Endgames, they'll take half the show. Tic-Tac-Toe is up next.
Yeah.
This is fine.
It's fine. Decent.
Fine.
I put it in losing horns.
I put it in sure because it's like again, I'm also judging these on how these relate to the actual show themselves, and Tic-Tac-Toe kind of doesn't in a way.
You don't need an end game for it. That's the thing. Like you get enough tension and drama in the main game that I think they kind of just said, "Well, we should have a bonus round."
Yeah. So you agree it's superfluous, and thus it goes in losing horns.
No,
superfluous doesn't automatically mean losing horns.
It's sure to me.
Don't make me put off the wall and losing horns. Next is
it's
exit
not even
list.
Here.
Next is exit list. I would put this high up. I think it's fantastic.
I think this is a great. It's a great gimmick.
If it didn't have the whole Guardian Angel stuff, I'd probably put it towards goats.
Yeah.
Greats certainly, because it's one of those shows where the show is built around the entire end game.
Yes.
Right. So the end game has to be good.
The show is the end game. It's we're all building. The rest of the show is building to that end game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a great end game. The Guardian Angel, I think, puts it out of goats for me, but it's still pretty damn exciting to watch somebody memorize all of the answers of the game.
Ethan says it's sure because he hates memory tests. Well, then that's not the show for you because that whole game is a memory test.
Ethan, do you remember why you hate memory tests? Let's move on to the Crystal Maze. Let's move on to the Crystal Maze. I have a controversial opinion. Losing horns.
I disagree. I think it's like its iconicness certainly brings it out of losing horns for me.
It's iconic. It's a huge set piece, which is cool looking, but
I wouldn't put it higher than decent. Personally,
it can't go higher than decent for me.
I had it at decent.
It's either decent or short for me.
This is my losing horns because A, it's so fucking hard to win, and B, it's over. It's over quick. Like the only shorter bonus round we've talked about so far is Wheel of Fortune.
Or the Scrabble Sprint.
Ted says it's losing horn because many teams go into it with 2 crystals and only get 10 seconds. I've seen somebody go in with 1 crystal and only get 5 seconds.
I've seen somebody go in with 0 crystals.
They go in, they go out.
I will put this in sure.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna have a discussion about what drops at some point.
I will say this, the revival has certainly made it harder than it was in previous series, purely because of the amount of games you play. I don't want this going in losing horns because it's so iconic, and there are people who pay money to go in this blooming crystal.
It was a blast, though.
No.
Exactly, right?
All right.
It was a fucking blast.
For those of you asking, why haven't I said what chat says? I'm going to wait until the end, so it's a surprise for everybody. And that way we can quickly move on, which means I may leave this open just for the sake of things here. Next is The Chase. This goes in goats. If we're not putting Ben Stein in goats,
it's goat.
This I will not
rest
until we put this in
that
goats.
is goats.
No, this is goats.
There is something. It's a variable game. It can be won on a shitty day. It can be lost on a great day.
It's you are up against this titan of a trivia person, and they give you enough advantages to make it where it's possible. You get the head starts, you get the pushbacks. You know, that's enough to make it an interesting game, and it's interesting how balanced it is with that.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. It goes in goats, and great. We'll move on. Take It or Leave It is next. This is the one with the saves. We didn't get to see a lot of this. I'm really gonna defer to Tip on this. I think Tip and Kurt. I think you're probably gonna know more about this than I do.
I wouldn't put this in goats.
This isn't goats. The game itself is a lot like the main game.
Yeah,
because of the whole take it or leave it with the answer choices.
The reason I brought it in was because of the balancing of how much do you trust your own knowledge versus your own luck.
Yeah.
And that to me is an interesting concept to play around with. Yes, okay, it is quite long for an American Endgame, I would say. But over here in the UK, when a format is kind of built around that, I would personally say that it's more interesting than Deal or No Deal, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Which is what it was fighting up against. I'm happy to concede that it's certainly not a GOAT. But I will fight to the death against it being in losing horns.
I have this at low, decent, high, sure, but that's where I've got it.
I'm happy with decent. Happy with decent.
All right. Decent is good. We'll move on. And our next one is Supermarket Sweep. I have this in decent to great. It's
Decent.
I think, I would love to find clues and hidden money in a supermarket and run around like an idiot.
Yeah.
I agree with what JJ said earlier. It's not even the best part of the show. I think the sweep itself.
It's not.
The sweep itself is the best part of the show, and this is an afterthought. But it's
an afterthought.
It combines the two aspects of the game into a neat little end package.
Mm-hmm.
I like the clues.
That's why I've moved it down to sure. I don't like the clues because they're so variable. You get ones that rhyme, and then suddenly you get ones that don't, and it's like, okay, what am I supposed to be reading into this? And I've got 60 seconds to work out what the hell is going on. Good luck.
Yeah, no, they can fuck with you. Yeah, they'll fuck with you if they want.
Yeah,
I will put this in high decent for now. I think it should go higher, but high decent.
Yeah.
Right middle of the road. Our next is Super Password.
Ooh, GOAT?
That I put as great.
It's great.
Great.
I think it's great. It's the start of a thing that was perfected by one that we're going to talk about later.
I think I rank it so high because it's so much better than the lightning round from the original Password.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh no, the lightning round for the original Password is a wet fart.
Is trash.
But this has the same tension of what we're going to talk about later. But I feel that the single word clues give it enough sauce to make it not a ripoff of something else we're going to talk about. Literally coming up next. So I think I just put it there. But I think it's great. It's top of great. It's
great.
It's got that interactivity that I think is cool because again, you can come up with a good clue for it.
Yep.
Next is Split Second, and we went with the current iteration of Split Second because I think if we would have done the previous ones, it would have been Losing Horns.
It would have been Losing Horns immediately.
This is fun. I actually I had never seen this until we were building this. I really like that you have two options and you have to come up with the correct answer for one of them.
It's basically the main game in a speed format.
Yeah.
It's
a
great.
great idea. A great idea.
But the whole game is speed.
Okay, have you watched the GSN version?
Yes.
I'd be leaning towards decent or great on this.
It's low grade, high decent to me.
I think I like low grade.
Okay.
I think low grade.
I can live with that.
I love the option of choice here, and my only problem is 7 and 60 seconds is.
It's GSN. They don't want to give it away very often.
I think that's too easy. I think it's too easy.
I've been watching.
I'm sorry, I stepped away. This is fine. That's what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the lightning round.
No.
No. Never mind.
Next,
ignore me.
Next is Shop Till You Drop. I think this is fun. I think it's fun. You win all the prizes no matter what, and it's fun watching likely a uncoordinated dude running through the fucking mall trying to get these boxes in.
Going up and down the stairs.
Yeah, and it's fine.
It's a nice campy end game to a nice campy show.
Yes,
I think it's decent.
Decent.
I'd say low, decent, high, sure. I don't think it's got anything special going for it, but there's nothing like abrasive there.
I got it in decent.
I agree with decent. Decent's fine. Moving on, our next one is Scrabble. Scrabble might go in sure for me. I love Scrabble. Scrabble's one of my all-time favorite shows, but this ain't it.
It works better as the head-to-head round, and then they decided, you know what, a solo round against 10 seconds is like, yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's an accomplishment when you win it.
Once again, it feels like we had a game show, and because bonus rounds are the thing, we just put it in there.
Yeah.
You could have done 5 words instead, and whoever wins the sprint gets the jackpot for the day or something like that. But
just make a longer sprint, and I
mean, it's not. I will say this: this isn't sure not because it is bad. It is ensure because it isn't necessary.
Yes.
It's definitely still fun. It's still definitely got that interactivity, but it's 10 seconds. Okay. That just seems like a kind of a waste of time.
It's a reason to have an extra ad break.
Yeah.
Is what it reads to me.
Hey, we timed out the show and it's 22 minutes. Shit.
Damn it.
We need to have something suspenseful for them to come back to.
Moving on, we're going to remote control from the MTV version. Identify 9 music videos in 30 seconds. I think this is decent. It's fine.
Decent.
It's decent.
It's on brand.
It's on brand. We're on MTV, so yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's definitely a step away from what the entire show is, but that doesn't make it bad.
There are better music identification in games.
Yeah.
So that's why it's decent for me.
Yeah, it's decent.
We didn't put the hit list on this list. That's a great end game, but
I disagree because I suck at it.
That's not. That sounds like an issue.
Listen. All right.
I need to write another one of those soon so we can play it again.
Move on to Release the Hounds. This is campy. This is not Losing Horns, but it's nothing. It's dumb. It's dumb. I'm happy with it in sure.
It's dumb fun though. That's the thing.
The whole point of the show is that dog run, and that's why I put it there because it's so different than everything else. But
it's self-aware of how dumb it is.
Yeah.
Because of that self-awareness, I've put it in decent.
Sure.
I've pushed for it to be Losing
Horns.
I have it in sure. It can't go any higher than sure. It's entertaining. It's like a couple WrestleManias ago when it was like Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. That had no right being a WrestleMania match, but I was thoroughly sports entertained. That's what Release the Hounds is. Moving on to our next one here, and it's Pyramid and moving on.
Moving on. It's just please.
It's the clock. It's the lights.
It's suspense.
It's the suspense. It's the difficulty scales up perfectly most of the time.
Mm-hmm. It's the best 60 seconds.
And then Dick Clark comes in and says, "What if I said this perfect clue?" Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also turns the game on its head, and I like that. That's neat.
But like that tick that lives rent free in my fucking head.
The clock.
It lives rent free in my head. It's so good. It's getting 5 and 25 seconds and spending the rest on that damn top box.
Right.
Pretty much. But like, oh god, it's so good. Even if they lose,
it's still tension. Like, even if they only get 3 of them correct, the tension's still there.
So next is the Press Your Luck Endgame.
Go.
I say go. I'm with Danny. I initially was very skeptical about it, but the more and more I've seen it, I think the personalized prizes are an amazing touch. You don't see that on a lot of shows, if any. I think it's and I said this while we were watching it. It is to show Elizabeth Banks, or to show to us how much Elizabeth Banks can shine as a host. She is fucking amazing. She already does a great job just hosting the front game. Like, is it high goat? No. Is it in goats? Yeah.
Yes.
I say the only reason I have it in great is because there is a top prize and no one has been able to win it yet, and so it's a little too hard to win that top prize.
No. Just because the top prize is unattainable or not mostly unobtainable doesn't mean that the show is
I'm getting called out.
Downgraded as a whole.
I'm getting called out. I am getting called out. All right. Hold on. I'm being called out. JB, you can't rip on Tipping Point for being an endgame that takes half the show and then call PYL good. PYL, the endgame of Press Your Luck has no trivia. It is straight board. It is enough tension with the personalized prizes. Tipping Point drags out in 30 minutes what they could do in 10. Sure, they could do the same thing on Press Your Luck, but Press Your Luck has a formative front game and end game segment to it. And
you know what you're getting with Press Your Luck. Every spin, it is all or nothing.
Yeah.
Every single time. What happens during Tipping Point? You drop a coin. You hope something happens.
You might get some money.
Happen,
yeah.
I would also say in response to Cindy that unless a bonus game has been won, it can never be GOAT. How long did it take for the £1 million question to be answered on Millionaire? And look at that as a show.
How long does it take between Sasuke winners? I mean,
if you want to go by that logic, nobody on America's version of Winning Lines won the million, so that can't be GOAT either. I'm
not. I wasn't trying to say that that's the criteria to be GOAT. I just mean specifically for Press Your Luck. It feels so difficult for me. Like, the $1 million question feels a little like attainable. You know, I have no knowledge. Winning Lines, you got to know knowledge. It's because Press Your Luck is so luck based, which makes it so hard to win the million.
But anyways, we're moving on. Name that tune.
I like naming music, so decent.
Sure.
As far as
I'm a musician, so
I think it's fine. I hate the cutthroat nature of.
I put them both in.
It's indecent.
Both versions.
I would put it higher if it wasn't. If you fuck up, you're done. I hate that.
There's again, like I said, there's better music identification games.
Let's say, JB, you'd like the celebrity version, because at least in the celebrity version, JB, they don't end the game when the celebrity gets it wrong.
They continue it and try to earn more money for charity.
Yeah.
I think if you do that with civilians, end the game, but like, okay, you can't win 10 grand out anymore, but you get like $1 grand if you can get these or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Burn them off. Anyways, Ethan says, I'm okay with one and done since you can pass. Sure. Moving on. Oh God, everything we are. You know what? Fuck it. They can go. They could go. They could do their thing. I don't care.
You guys go.
You guys could go ahead. We're gonna keep talking. Perfection.
Okay.
Tip, I'm gonna kind of go back to you on this one. Like from what I've seen, I think it's decent.
Yeah. So we didn't get a lot of the show there, and again, this is one of those end games where the whole show is building up to it.
Yeah.
You have the usual suspects in their little box, and they are working against the main player. Throughout the game, they're building this category board against them if they win those initial rounds. But also, by allowing them to come down and help, adds another element to that and goes, okay, maybe I'm going to pick a category that I'm actually good at so I can come down and help them later. I think having the negotiating mechanic between the live player and the usual suspects really strengthens the end game. And then there's that jeopardy of the rolling jackpot. It's a case of, okay, well, if they get it and I'm not involved in that, I could get picked for the next show and only be playing for $1,000. So there are two different sides to this end game, and that's what I love about it so much. Is it a GOAT? Probably not. Not compared to what we've seen tonight. Would I say it's great? Yes.
Okay.
I have it at high decent, low great, so yeah.
Kind of where we've put it here. Next up is Nick Arcade, and oh boy,
no.
As a concept, this is cool as fuck. In
execution, though?
Execution?
It's a wet fart.
It's so fucking difficult to win.
Execution is we have Nightmare at Home.
It's going in,
I've never seen a bonus round where you need a degree in meteorology in order to do this. It's like look at the mirror image in the screen and go, oh, okay, there it is, and then you spend like 15 seconds trying to hit a start button, but you keep missing.
It's gonna go in sure for now, but I don't feel like I have good prospects for it.
Its concept is carrying it so much.
The concept of it is carrying it.
It may save itself from the losing horns, if not just because it's a cool as hell bonus round. Anyways, Monopoly. Roll around the board. I think it's fine. I feel like it's an afterthought.
It's a sure for me. It's not like
it fits thematically at least.
Yeah.
At least you have a choice in the matter. It's not entirely luck in terms of where you place your go to jail squares, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Yeah, sure.
All right. As chat's continuing to go to town here, they are on 25. We are catching up. We're doing our best here. We've got Lingo coming up next here.
Ooh.
Which one are we talking about?
We're gonna say overall, I have the GSN version.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's decent.
That's decent.
Okay. What about the no lingo version?
Is a little better in my mind.
Decent.
Yeah, it's higher in decent.
Yeah, between the two, I would go higher decent.
Yeah, high decent. I'm fine with that. It's Lingo as overall as a game I adore. So GSN decent, no lingo good. That's what Ethan says in chat.
That's where I'm at as well.
I think no lingo is it's a good concept, but the fact that you can just screw it on the first ball is a little punch.
All right. Next up, Legends of the Hidden Temple. GOAT.
No. I'll tell you why. Because.
Anyways,
wow. I have this as a great, not a GOAT.
I have it as a great as well.
I have it,
and I'll tell you why. Because you could be on the show, win the show, and your partner goes in and out like we just watched, and you didn't even get to go in the fucking temple.
there's also scenarios where it's just no win. We've seen that, like with where they place the temple guards. It's, for me, there's too much in the hands of the producers and randomness for it to be a reasonable end game. I'm not like, I would have it as sure or decent. I wouldn't have it any higher.
I have it as a great.
I would have it in greats. I would overrule you on that tip.
Like, the concept, the idea, the set dressing, brilliant. But when you think about the actual production and mechanics of it, it's a kick in the teeth, honestly.
Anybody else? Before we move on to Jungle Run,
I would just say that's on the show.
So Jungle Run is your team is completing 4 tasks in a certain amount of time. I believe it's a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
It
depends on how many golden.
Yeah, so it's one of those where the end game is something you're building up to the entire show.
It's kind of Crystal Maze-ish. How well you did in the rest of the show determines how long you have.
Yeah, so the end game can be 30 seconds. It can be up to 3 minutes in some cases.
And if you don't get out with prizes, you're eliminated.
If you don't make it out, you don't get any prizes. If one person fails to make it out, so there is a kind of pushing your luck kind of mechanic in it. I would say, as someone who grew up with it, I would put this in goats, but I can understand why.
I think this is
wow
on par.
Wow, Tip.
I think this is on par with Legends.
Okay, we'll put them next to each other, and they can.
I fundamentally disagree, purely because of the fact that everybody gets to have a go at it, and there isn't a fuck you. That's why I think it's better than Legends. There, I've said it. I'm gonna have my tea now.
Okay, great. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Jeopardy then.
This is controversial. This is a sure for me.
I think it's decent because it's just more Jeopardy. That's all.
It's an extra clue. It's a daily double for everybody. It's
a daily double that everybody can play. It's sure.
Yeah.
It's again, with what I said earlier.
If it can,
that it's solved per se makes it sure for me.
It's sure for me because it could be meaningless.
It could be meaningless, but if it does determine the outcome of a game, or like has that third place player making a comeback, it is exciting. I think it is. I think it is par for the course. That is what I think it is.
That's fair.
I think it is par for the course, and it'll sit in the middle of decent.
Yes.
I think
we have different meanings of par. But okay.
Par is average.
Par is sure for me. Like that's my
sure is our below average tier. Decent is
okay.
Decent
is our average.
Okay, I'll concede that then.
Next up is Hitman. I think it's fine.
Hard.
It's sure.
Sure.
It's there. It's just you can be done in 3 questions or in 5 questions, or you could get completely fucking hosed and have to go through
11.
Yep.
13.
13.
I wish there was more risk for going for more questions.
Yes. It's just go as many as you can in a row. That's the whole game.
So I noticed the questions were on a particular theme. Does that have anything to do with the show itself?
Hitman, I believe, has like 2 or 3 themes. Like they show a short film about something.
Yes, 2 themes.
And then the end game is about both of those themes. But there's 2 rounds, and one round is around a certain theme, and then there's another round around another theme.
So are those questions like stuff about the films that they've seen?
Yeah, or subjects. Like I think one was like Thomas Jefferson and Clark Gable, like was what they did, I think, for the one episode we watched. So like they're asking questions about those both of those subjects. So it's, have you recalled everything we've told you in the
okay? So it isn't knowledge necessarily. It's recall.
It's recall. It's recall with a sprinkle of knowledge.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be. There is a bit too much randomness in there for me for it to be.
Ethan makes a good point in chat. Hitman was the '80s version of I literally just told you.
You're not wrong.
I mean, I'd have it as high, sure, low, decent.
I'm fine with high, sure.
It's different enough that it's interesting for me.
Yep.
All right, moving on here. Chat has about as many left as we do. They're getting a different order, I guess. Guts, the aggro crag.
I'm gonna be controversial here.
I'm gonna be controversial here. This is losing horns.
Oh, I'm with you.
Oh.
Okay, we're in this together.
Wow, I wasn't going to be that harsh.
Let's say
This is over in 30 seconds. You can't tell what the fuck's going on because there's smoke in the way.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, and also for what is a physical game show, right? Having your finale be testing one element of physicality doesn't feel right.
And we have we go from you can jump 1,000,000 miles high because you're on a bungee cord to run up this mountain and hit the buttons.
Well, I'm gonna say it's physicality and it's paying attention because we've seen people. You can miss those buttons. It's hard to see them. So you do have to pay attention.
Leading to my point of you can't fucking see what's going on.
All right.
That's part of the challenge. I mean, if you climbed Mount Everest, you couldn't see what was going on.
I do not agree with losing horns for the time being.
Yeah.
I'm saving it.
I would say decent.
But
it's not a goat where you've put it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not a goat.
I disagree with goat.
Put it in sure. Wasn't gonna let me sneak that one by. All right, moving on. Moving on is Gladiators / America Gladiators, and I will. This is goat. Fight me.
This is
goat.
This is aggro crag.
This is what aggro crag should be.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. I've just been told we have to add Gladiators 2000 to that. So, losing horns. No.
We didn't show Gladiators 2000 tonight. Thank you very much. And also, anybody who's been watching the new UK revival knows how absurd this is. The amount of comebacks and close calls.
Yeah.
And just general camaraderie around it as well.
This is what the Guts game should be.
I agree. I'm going to bitch about it, but I agree. Anyways.
No. What the heck?
It's not going to be a thing. Stop it. All right. Moving on here. Fort Boyard.
Oh.
Where did I put Fort Boyard?
Fort Boyard.
I put it in great.
Likewise.
I think
it's high, decent, low, great for me.
Decent.
I think
I could be convinced to great, but yeah.
So the episode you showed probably wasn't the
great
best showing of it.
I just couldn't find anything. So
no, that's fine. I understand why, but the fact that they are building up to this point where it's like, okay, we have these clue words, we need this thing. Sometimes they have to sacrifice a team member to get an extra clue, which means they're going to be carrying less gold. I mean, it's one of those, much like the Crystal Maze, where the end game justifies the whole show.
I may be misremembering this, but I think I remember at one point there was a team that they had one of the girls jump into the arms of a guy. They loaded up the gold on her stomach.
Yes.
Oh no, that is a common
out.
strat. That is a common strat.
Which is amazing.
I I would say if we're talking UK Boyard, I'd say decent, probably middle-ish decent.
I would be fine
French
with
Boyard's
decent.
great.
I would
French Boyard.
I would be
there.
fine with decent on the logic that at least you have some control over the game, whereas in Crystal Maze's Endgame, it's a wind tunnel dollar machine.
Yeah, I can see that.
I will be fine. I will put Fort Boyard right there.
Sure.
And Freddy disagrees, but Freddy, it doesn't matter.
Freddy is wanting a TREAT, I think.
Yeah. Okay, we have 9 left, so we'll try to speed through these here. Finders Keepers.
Really? I think
okay, I get it, Freddy.
Okay,
Freddy says bark, which is decent.
I'm also leaning towards decent on this one. I mean, it plays into that fancy of wanting to trash the house.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like.
Come here.
It's just an extension of the show.
Yeah.
I also think it also builds off of what Tipster said about Hidden Temple. Like, depending on the layout and the order, put the aggro
JB,
back.
put it down.
It's like, depending on the order of the rooms, you could be going up and down those stairs
4 times.
3-4 times.
Whereas the aggro crag, you only have to go up once, which is why the aggro crag's a goat.
To put it, at least we can see what's going on in Finders Keepers.
Yeah. And you get the snarky cameraman zooming in on what they're missing.
The snarky cameraman is what makes it for me.
Did you see it at home?
All right, moving on, because Chad is almost out of things, and we have 8 left. Family Feud, Fast Money. I would put this in greats.
It's a great.
I'd say decent.
It's still the core of the game, but 2 players playing, and I think getting the 5 separate questions, and I think there's just a fun enough metagame in there for the second player to think about answers that are good, that are not better. That I think ties it all into a nice little bit.
Having a second answer, rapid fire.
Like it's decent. I love it. It creates great tension, like especially if somebody starts rotten and the second player just cleans it up and wins. It's got that built-in drama. I'm fine with great.
I'm low great.
Great. Moving on.
Great.
Double Dare.
I'm good with that.
Double Dare.
And
okay. Double Dare is. I'm. Wow. What? Okay.
I'm actually I'm sure on this one. I'm not any higher, but
for a show that's all about let's make a mess, this is a perfect in game.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great. I don't know if it's GOAT, but I think it's great.
I think it's GOAT.
You put that fucking back. You can put it a little bit higher, but not the GOATs.
I think it's decent. Like I wouldn't personally put it higher than decent.
No.
There are some obstacles that if you see them, you go, "Oh, they're not winning this."
Pick it.
So for me, that brings it down a peg. Personally,
I did like the revival where they always had Mount St. Double Dare as the 8th, and that was a really good ending. Really good. Yeah.
Freddie, I'm trying to get Aggro Keg up there.
Freddie,
I know you're putting.
Freddie, chill. I need you to chill.
Moving on, chat is on their last couple.
Okay.
Chain Reaction. This is a sure for me.
Go is I like the new one better because it's
Yeah.
The speed chains is a better end game in my opinion. Go is just kind of
Well, Go was created off of this bonus round, so I feel like it was almost a pilot for Go. I like it enough, but it just feels like it's three-headed pyramid.
Yeah.
So
and it's
So I'll put it in sure. I can't put it any higher than sure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh,
sure. At least decent.
I think it's great.
I put it in. I'll put it in decent.
I'm fine with decent. It's
depending
hard.
on the depending on the
hard.
Yeah.
It's geography and it's public television, so it kind of had to be like a little bit harder than normal.
But not get 8 and 45 seconds. You have
here's the big thing about Carmen Sandiego. I'm not excited to do this if I'm on the show.
Right.
Yeah. Like the whole thing is about catching Carmen Sandiego, yet I have to put little lights on a map. Okay, that's what I came to this show to do, I guess.
It's gonna go indecent because acapella. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, and as Ethan says, I said earlier, if you get Africa, you're probably fucked. Where in time is Carmen Sandiego? I will acquiesce. This is better than Where in the World.
This is better than Where in the World. The better in game, worse show. But I think this is probably. It's probably still decent, but it's higher than
decent. Yeah,
it's higher than Carmen.
Out there, yeah.
Yes, we got it. There's a car.
We got it.
No,
put it back.
Damn it!
I'm gonna slap your hand out the cookie jar, JB. Is that?
No.
I'm gonna go in there and just take his mouse.
Where's my Nerf gun?
Is it Bluetooth? I'll control it from here.
No, it's wired. Fuck you.
The only thing I have to say about those two shows is for a show that's called Where in Time or Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, at no point do you see Carmen Sandiego. Like,
no, one of the dancers actually runs around in Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, in time, yes.
In time, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
In Where in the World, it's always an animated character.
Card Sharks, money cards. I cannot put this lower than great.
Yeah. I think this is great.
It plays on the original premise of the show. It's a nice addition because you are risking money. As opposed to just you've just got to get to the end of a run. I'd say like mid to low grade.
I like it right where it is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fun. It's exciting. You could scream at the TV. There's that interactivity. Obviously, there's no trivia, but screaming higher, lower, fuck you, suck my dick. Anyways, Brain Surge is next.
I think it's decent.
This is decent to me. It's a good game, like as far as Nick Endgames go.
Yeah.
Stop.
Good game.
It's better than the aggro crag.
All right.
Good game, poor execution. Like, I think the fact that you have to specifically step on particular heckin' buttons in the middle of fucking
that's a knock against it, because like that last run we watched, she had the path.
Kid got robbed because she had the right path, but she didn't step in the middle.
She didn't step on the button, and that cost her. I think it could be better, but it's decent.
But yeah, it's decent. I like how, it expands in difficulty and in size and how it does it.
The whole freaking floor moves, that's cool.
The music bed's pretty fucking cool. Like, it's decent. It's decent.
I like the concept of, hey, here's it twice. Now do it, and if not, I'm gonna keep your clock running while I show you again as the penalty.
Finally, we have Blockbuster's Gold Run. I put it in low grade. There's nothing wrong with it.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think again, the demonstration you showed there wasn't a great demonstration because there were 2 capital city questions, and it's very rare that the gold run has a single letter on it.
In the American version, it did.
But a clever player, if they think they know what an acronym is, can knock something out.
Oh god, yeah.
And it gives you a little bit more leeway than just a single letter board. 60 seconds is fine. It's if you're a good player, you can do it in 5 questions and knock it out. But it's fun to see players work around the blocks. And I mean, the UK version, you get better prizes as you go up. I mean, US, it's just a flat 5K, but it's I'm fine putting in greats, and
sure.
That's what we'll do. Okay, now here's the question. We're done. We have one thing we need to do before we can go on.
At least one of those has to go down.
At least one of the things in Sure has to go in Losing Hordes. So I am going to give each of us 60 seconds to make their case, and we'll start with Kurt.
It's either Nick Arcade or Aggro Crag for me, just because Nick Arcade it's just the execution of it is just so touchy. I'm arguing for it to go down, not up. What are you doing? Aggro Crag, like I said, you get this head-to-head thing, but like then we can't interact with each other. You can't keep track of everybody. It's just like nothing matters until you see who's at the top. When I'm watching it, it's like, okay, there's chaos with smoke, and then somebody hits a button. That's what my opinion of it. So,
all right, JJ.
Boy, I think I'm gonna have to go with Nick Arcade. It was just a little too ahead of its time, and so even if you had good players, just trying to keep up with what was going on behind you while looking at a 18-inch television monitor didn't make for great bonus runs at all. So I would go with Nick Arcade.
All right. So we got one for Nick Arcade, and I think we had one for Guts.
I split my vote between Guts and Nick Arcade.
So Tip.
I'm again Nick Arcade or Aggro Crag for pretty much the same reasons Theory said. The other thing is that even the commentator and the people running it have no fucking clue what's going on in Aggro Crag. Like the amount of times, we're gonna have to wait to see if that's a legitimate finish or not. Okay, great. That's so they're celebrating, but they might not. Okay, well. What are we sitting around here doing, twiddling our thumbs for the next 30 minutes while we wait for people to finish? I think it's a bad finish to what is a physical format, and if they'd have done the obstacle course or something like that as a finale and just made it bigger, then I'd be fine with it. But it's a nice set piece, but it doesn't scream the format for me.
So right now I have 2 half votes and a full vote for Nick Arcade and 2 half votes for Nickelodeon Guts. Mondo?
I was asleep. What's going on?
We don't have anything in the trash bin, so something's got to go there.
Something's got to go there.
We have Hitman, Chain Reaction, Wheel of Fortune, Monopoly, Tipping Point, Tic-Tac-Toe, Crystal Maze, Release the Hounds, although I think we all kind of agree it belongs in Sure. It's campy. They know it's campy, blah, blah, blah. Nick Arcade, Scrabble, and that's it.
And the Aggro Crag.
Wheel and Losing Horns.
Wheel?
Yeah. Wheel.
Okay. That's a vote for Wheel. Danny?
I have to go with Tipping Point.
Oh.
Yeah!
I'm okay with that.
I think Tipping Point is boring. It's incredibly boring. It take
unless it's for the DFIU
way
championship.
too long for what it is. But the fact that we have to pepper it up so much.
We had to change the rules of the game to make it interesting.
Yeah. I can't fault Nick Arcade or Guts for theirs because they're trying a lot. And I can respect that. What I can't respect is something that dirtles around too much or something that doesn't really fit to the theme of what the game is. Tic-tac-toe, cough, 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 cough.
So, I'll move on to mine, but it sounds like we have a vote for Tipping Point. I do agree that the aggro crag needs to be moved. And I'm going to go ahead and move it. Just up to there.
You can put it as high as decent. That's as far as you're allowed to go.
No. I was definitely not running that joke to the ground. I would say tic-tac-toe. I think Danny kind of nailed it earlier. It's pointless.
I wouldn't be offended if tic-tac-toe went down.
I wouldn't be offended if that's the one to go.
Well, okay. Here's what we have. We have 2 full votes for Nick Arcade. Oh. I'm sorry you feel that way, Freddie. Tic-tac-toe, Nickelodeon Guts, Wheel of Fortune, and Tipping Point all have 1 vote. I think by that logic, we've got to put Nick Arcade in there.
I think you almost put Nick Arcade and Tic-tac-toe both down there. Because it sounds like we had 2 almost full votes for both of those.
Yeah. So I think, okay, we're going to lock this in, I think.
I think so.
So is there what is the definitive sure here? Is it Wheel of Fortune? Is that the definitive?
Wheel of Fortune is the Peru game shows in every way. It's sure.
Definitive sure. Definitive decent. Definitive decent. I think we're gonna go along the same lines, and we're gonna put Jeopardy right there.
Yep.
Greats. I am mostly fine with where everything is on greats. Honestly, I would move this down.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would move. I think Win Ben Stein's Money is fine. It does it break the theme of the show, kind of. But I think for what it is, I'll put card show.
It's fine. Yeah, I think that's about the right order right there.
And then goats, I'm fine how that order is. Pyramid is the best one. That's not even a question. That's a universal agreement. So as far as
I might flip flop gladiators and winning lions, but that's the only nitpick I have.
Yeah. All right, so that is it for our tier list. For those watching live, we're gonna have a fun little bonus game. But for those of you watching us on the VOD, that's it for our list. If you want to watch us live,
you want to go over what chat did because we haven't.
That's the bonus segment. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna have you guys guess what was in, and
okay,
that's what we're gonna do. But we're already running long tonight just for all of our stuff. So, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to do all the shit they say at the end of these videos. But
scribe,
mint. I don't know.
Calm like scribe.
Thanks to Mondo, Theory of Game, Danny Gambit, JJ, and Tipster for being a part of this. This is one we were really excited to do, and give us suggestions for what you'd like to see.
And honestly, there's enough game shows we could do this again with another set.
We could revisit this with another voting thing, and you could. Who knows what could happen? But all right. Here's my awkward silence to end the video. And now we come to the fun bonus part. So I'm going to tell you how many were in there, and I want to see how many of them you think you can name. We had 318 total votes through 9 people. There were 3 in Losing Horns. And I think
Nick
you'll be like, and 1 you're going to be upset about, I think.
Okay, I think Nick Arcade is probably down there.
No.
I think the audience has very rose tinted glasses about Nick Arcade.
Okay, then probably Crystal Maze
No.
is probably down there.
I think they saw Release the Hounds. Yeah,
I think Release the Hounds and probably Take It or Leave It and Perfection, because my boring ass suggested them.
So the UK game shows go down there. Okay, got it.
Release the Hounds and Take It or Leave It are two of them.
Okay.
What could be the third?
Hitman.
Nope.
Don't you dare say they put Jungle Run down there.
Jungle Run's not there. Fort
Okay.
Boyard.
Is it a US or UK show?
It's a French show.
It's a French show that's had.
They put Boyard down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why.
They gave it a low grade, so it's Boyard D.
Yeah, shut up.
I just came up with that, so fuck you guys, okay?
I think given what they've seen tonight, that's fair.
That's fair, because we didn't. I agree with Tip that was not the best example of a Fort Boyard, but that's the only one I could find. So
that's fine. Don't worry.
So it was 5 votes for Losing Horns for Release the Hounds, 5 votes for Take It or Leave It, and 3 votes. Although there was spread between Goats and Losing Horns, but Losing Horns had the most votes. 6 Ensure.
Okay.
Well, if Perfection wasn't in Losing Horns, it's probably Ensure.
Chain reaction's probably Ensure.
No.
Wait,
really?
Wait, Nick Arcade wasn't in Losing Horns, so it's probably Ensure.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Tic-Tac-Toe wasn't in Losing Horns, so it's probably Ensure.
No.
Oh, the entire on their list. Brain Surge.
Remote control.
I heard a Hipping Man. I heard a Tipping Point.
Okay, the tipping point.
Remote control.
Missing?
No.
Sweep.
How many are we missing?
1.
One more?
1 more.
Scrabble.
Scrabble? No.
Wheel of Fortune.
No. I'll give you a hint.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
They got that lower than Laurel.
Where in Time?
What are you guys on?
Hitman got 5 for sure, 1 for Losing Horns. Tipping Point got 5 for sure, 1 for Losing Horns. Tip. Where in Time got 3 decent for sure. Perfection got 4 sure, 1 Losing Horns. Brain Surge got a Losing Horns as well. But there were more sures. And then Nick Arcade got 3 sures and 2 Losing Horns. So I'm going to move up to Goats, and then I'll go over what was in Greats and Decent. Chat had 8 in Goats.
They are way too generous.
That's way too generous.
Okay. They probably had Pyramid. They probably had...
I think the Chase is up there.
The Chase is probably up there. The Eliminator's probably up there.
Yep.
Password is probably up there.
No.
Legends.
Really?
You're gonna tell me that they put fucking Aggro Crag up there?
I think that's a no.
Did we say Winning Lines?
Winning Lines, yeah. Wonderwall.
Card Sharks, probably?
No, not Card Sharks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, did they put Double Jeopardy, Final Jeopardy up there?
No,
really?
But you almost said one of the shows.
Double Dare.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I could see that. There's a lot of nostalgia on that.
One is a British original show and one is a British institution.
Oh.
Blockbusters.
And okay, British original show out of this list. Crystal Maze?
Exit List.
Oh.
Yeah. Pyramid was there wasn't anything universal, but 7 votes for Goat, 7 votes for Final Chase, which I believe we also said. 6 votes for Double Dare, 5 for Eliminator, 5 for Wonderwall, 4 for Legends, 3 for Blockbusters, and 3 for Exit List. But Exit List got a wide spectrum of votes. Decent. There was Monopoly, Split Second, Tic Tac Toe, which sure. Name That Tune, Shop Till You Drop, Avanti Unutro, Chain Reaction, Remote Control, Scrabble, Where in the World, and Wheel of Fortune. For greats, they had Press Your Luck.
So wait, hold on. The audience had Where in the World is a great and Where in Time as a sure.
Decent. Where in the World is decent.
Okay.
The Time is sure. It's probably nostalgia talking.
Greats. Greats was Press Your Luck.
That's fine.
Family Feud.
Okay.
Win Ben Stein's Money. Card Sharks. Password. Wipeout. Finders Keepers. Lingo. Supermarket Sweep. Jeopardy. Jungle Run. Crystal Maze. And As They Should, Nickelodeon Guts.
Rose-colored glasses on that. Just type guts. We have goats and we have guts. Do you have it? Perfect.
All right.
Dude, yeah, goats.
Goats.
Betty wasn't here for the discussion, but the Supermarket Sweep is GOAT. Compared to everything else, it's all right.
Oh.
But yeah, that's it for our discussion. Everybody is wrong. Aggro Craig is the GOAT.